A beautiful reading from the gospel. Really beautiful. It says that the Lord loved Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, this special family. And the two sisters sent a message. The one you love is sick. Remember, the one you love is sick. After 4 days, the Lord made it clear to the disciples, Lazarus is dead. It's no longer sickness. He is dead. Let us go to him. But 4 days, he's decayed. The tissues have gone. And they here he is. The Lord very plainly said to Martha, your brother will rise again. Stop doubting. Stop doubting. He will rise again. And when the Lord saw Mary weeping, man, do something. I find this is very interesting. So the miracle of opening the eyes of the blind was not a local event that happened and people forgot about it. It was widely discussed in the region. And those who came to see Mary and Martha knew that the Lord has opened the eyes of the blind man. Now, since he has opened the blind, can't he do something now? It's late. It's 4 days. But can he do something? Yes, he can. Lazarus, come out. It's an order that defies all the logic and all the customary rules. And the man who is dead for 4 days just come out. He just comes out. And the Lord declares very clearly, I am the resurrection and the life. That's what he says. So the greatest miracle to my little mind, the greatest miracle ever. The man who's dead for 4 days come back to life again. And then, so what does that say? The deity of the Lord. Only God can do that. Nobody else can. Then he declares, I am the resurrection and the life. There is a very special saint in the church called Saint Ambrose. He is the one who baptized Saint Augustine, and he was his spiritual guide. So what did Saint Ambrose teach Saint Augustine? He said something like, says to the man who was dead for 4 days, out, out. And he comes out. It's another interesting verse. The Lord kept the most amazing miracle right up to the end. The day before Palm Sunday, the church celebrates this amazing miracle on the Saturday, and on Sunday, the Palm Sunday. And the church father said, where did this big crowd that followed the Lord to Jerusalem, where did it come from? People came from all over the region to see the man who was dead for 4 days and got up and was risen. So this big crowd followed the Lord as he walked into Jerusalem. Such an amazing miracle. And then there is a simple question that the Lord put to us in Genesis. Is anything too hard for the Lord? No. Is there anything? If the man who is dead for 4 days can get up just like that, is anything difficult for the Lord? The answer is no. How do we approach the Lord? Here is a lovely... This is the Canaanite woman who had a request to the Lord. And the Lord was harsh on her. He wasn't harsh on her for the sake of it. He wanted to show the great faith and the beautiful prayers that was about to come out of her mouth. And she said to the Lord, treat me like a dog. That's what she was saying, really. Treat me. So what does the dog do? The dog is quite happy to eat the crumb that's coming down from the table of the master. The dog is very happy with that. And she was saying to the Lord, just to drop a crumb, because everything is possible to you. Just give me a crumb. The crumb is good enough. My daughter is very sick, and a word from you will do it. Is it a crumb? It is a crumb to you. It's nothing. But to me, it's everything. Give me that little crumb. We stand before the Lord with a long list of requests. Fine. This is good. This is in order. That's what the Lord wants us to do. Family problem, put it to the Lord. Fear of redundancy, which is common in our Western world. Fear of redundancy, put it before the Lord. MRI result. Yes. What is the MRI going to show? Where is that going to leave me? Put it before the Lord. Can't pay the bills. Well, heating is coming. The winter is coming. Heating problems. We put it before the Lord. The whole story of raising Lazarus from the dead is that the Lord cares about all these little details, and we've got every right to put these requests before the Lord. In the Catholicon, we've just heard, you are God's chosen people, God's special people. Really? Well, I'm a sinner. That's what I am. Yes, to me, I'm a sinner. To God, this is my special child. Each one of us. We are God's special child. Therefore, our problems He cares about. He wept at the grave of Lazarus. Our problems, big and small, means a lot to Him. This is a very special priest. He's a lovely, lovely priest from the very south of Egypt, Abuna Armea. He has a story to tell, and I would love to tell the story he said. And it has got relevance to, you will see the Arabic writing, Halumma kharigan, Lazarus come out. That's it. Before Abuna was a priest, he studied engineering. Together, all the drawings and all the plan, and he was very pleased with himself. I've done a good job here. The system in universities that before the real exam, a month before, you have a meeting with the professor. And that's really goodwill from the university. So the professor will give few hints. If you do this, you do that, you are likely to get better grades, which means that you are likely to get a better job later on. So it's all a package. He did his best, and on the day he went for the pre-exam, the draft stage exam. The professor looked at the work and he said, well, this is good work. Show me your ID. Show me your ID. Unfortunately, this is a known trick in Egypt because he doesn't have the name in front of him. He only has a code number. But show me your ID, tell me your name. And from the name, it's obvious that this young man is a Christian. Unfortunately, he was one of those who didn't like Christians. So I said to him, actually, your project is good, but you will fail. And the only place for this project is the bin. And he took all the carefully drawn projects, he tore it up and put it in the bin next to his table. Abuna was very deflated, was very depressed, not just because he was certain to fail in the real interview a month later, but also on employability prospects. What will happen? Came back to his flat, and he shared a flat with a very committed Christian young man. That's the importance of having a good Christian friend. When one is down, the other one pull him up. So I said to him, take heart. I said, how do I take heart? I have failed. My project is in the bin. What am I going to do? Well, the Lord raised Lazarus from the dead. So if He has raised Lazarus from the dead, He is able to do something about this given conclusion of failure. Just get on your drawing board again, start doing your plans again, and the Lord will do the rest. And keep praying, and keep praying. He did just that. A month later, he went to the real final interview with a heavy heart. With a heavy heart. He's going to meet the same professor who will fail him, only to be told that the professor is in intensive care. He became suddenly ill and he ended up in intensive care. So the university has a number of candidates to be examined. So they brought in a professor from another university to come to the exam to examine the candidate. It's a last opportunity. It's an important thing. There was a lecturer sitting with the professor in the first meeting and the second meeting to help, to assist. So the new professor looked at the work and said, well, this is very good work. And then came the question. So what did you get in your draft interview? I mean, I like what you have done, but what did you get? The lecturer said, sir, he got very good. Very good? He was amazed. Where did this very good come from? I failed. The project was in the bin. Sir, he got very good. The professor said, I agree. It is very good. Give him very good. So he got very good. The young man came out, amazed and surprised. And he said later to the lecturer, how on earth did I get good, very good? He said, actually, the first professor forgot to write any grade on the sheet of paper. And I saw the work, and I'm satisfied that your work was very good. And I'm a lecturer in the university. So I decided to give you very good. And that's what you deserve. Another Lazarus who was raised from the dead. On the big and the small, on every day's life, the Lord is there with us to help us. So Jesus said to Martha, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believes in me, though he were dead, yet he shall live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe in this? That's the question. Martha said, yes, Lord, I believe. And we say with Martha, yes, Lord, we believe. Glory be to God forever.